Hey guys, welcome back. Part 2 of our Wine the Bag. So we've just finished my own Wine the Bag, and now we're going to look through Matt's. So you guys will have seen the journey we've been on with Matt all through this season. You had some older gear in the bag.
Definitely had some older gear.
Yep. So probably you probably put that together between sort of 2010 when we thought you got your irons, the 710 AP2s.
So no, they were original AP2s. The very first ones. Yeah. So when I was working in a golf shop at the time.
Right.
That was kind of my first real set of clubs that I kind of bought. So yeah, what year would that have been?
2010.
2010 is when they first came out. So I had those, and I had a couple of, I had a Titleist driver originally, and then I had the I-20, which I used up until 6 months ago.
Right.
So another 8-year-old club or 7-year-old club. So there was definitely some performance on the table. But that being said, when I met you in December, I guess, I was not aware of the degree to which I was leaving consistency and yardage and performance on the table. I think I knew that my set was probably not great for me. I had a feeling that I was spinning stuff too much, but that, like, my knowledge was this compared to what I'm aware of now.
100%. I mean,
it's completely different.
So true. I mean, your knowledge is significantly improved, and on clubs specifically, and all the testing we've done, it's been great. So obviously, you didn't realize at the time. You actually didn't realize at the time how much speed you had.
No, I don't think I was aware that the amount of club, just because the distances I was hitting the ball were good, but I didn't think, I was probably hitting my driver like 280 on a good one. I thought that's good.
You thought that was good?
Yeah, but I guess I wasn't aware just the degree to which the ball speed was low off the driver, the spin was high, not to mention the directions that I was hitting at the time weren't great either.
You weren't optimized at all, were you?
Yeah, so I mean, I guess the experience over the last, it's been 9 months now, it's amazing. The amount of things I've learned and the amount of it, slowly, because I've been in no rush, we've kind of made the addition slowly. It's been good to share that with the channel, and we've done some dedicated videos on it, which I think has been good for everyone to sort of see that process.
I think it's been great. I think you guys have really had a chance to experience the journey with Matt and see multiple things, changing clubs, changing some things in the swing, and all the ways in which a golfer can improve. And I think that's really neat. And then obviously the net result is a 5 handicap that's dropped to a 1. I mean, that's not the same as a 20 that drops to a 16.
Absolutely.
Very
I think
different.
The lower you get, the tougher it is to improve by stroke, handicap index strokes. Sam, who was probably our most popular guest of all time,
for sure,
he's down. I think he's down something like 5 strokes as well.
Brilliant.
But even for him, I think he was about a 18 or so. Dropping from 30 to 25, that can happen pretty fast.
It can,
but even for what Sam's done, he's really improved with his clubs, and he's taking some lessons with Larry too.
More consistent.
But for me, I haven't improved at all, to be honest, in probably 5-6 years.
Right.
This is the first year that I've actually seen a nice, significant change in the kind of scores I'm shooting.
And there was some real kind of sort of isolated elements in the bag where you felt like you needed to improve, and it started at the top of the bag, didn't it?
Yeah, so taking penalty strokes off the tee prior to this year, at least a couple around.
Yeah.
So whether I'm hitting that into a red staked hazard and taking a drop and trying to save a par or a bogey, or I'm hitting it out of bounds, I'm re-teeing, that was killing me. So tough to break 80 consistently when you're taking penalty strokes. It really is. And
you guys will be shaking your head going, tough to break 80, how could that be, Matt? You hit it so good, and stuff like that. But the test environment's different from a golf course.
People ask me that all the time, and I say, honestly, in here, I think I developed a lot of confidence just hitting balls here with you guys.
I think you realized that.
Yeah, because
you realized how good you were, in all honesty.
I guess it's just a positive reinforcement thing.
Yeah, sure.
You see what you're capable of, and I think once spring hit and I went out on the golf course, my expectations were a little bit better.
Yep.
It's amazing what a little bit of belief will do for you.
It's very true.
But then at the same time, obviously, you were generous enough to give me demos of this. I hit a couple different models on the course.
We tried some stuff, didn't we?
Yeah, so I got a chance to see the difference it made working on my golf swing and things like that. So I think it was a process that was very different for someone that's I've worked in the industry. I don't anymore, but I used to be more involved in it, and I was, in my mind, knowledgeable about clubs and things like that. It definitely, I've had a journey that's taken me kind of to a different level of understanding. And
this hasn't just been a journey about the equipment. The swing has played a big part in this as well, because if we had given you this driver and you hadn't changed your swing, it would have been the opposite of what you wanted.
Would have been the worst case scenario.
Yeah, because the LS Tech G400 sits a little bit open, and we have it sitting another 2 degrees open.
Yep.
Right, so we've got it about 3 degrees open. Your fear was the high left, the big block.
That was the shot that drove me insane.
Yeah.
Like that was
That's
the shot that the lost ball and just like a frustrating round of golf kind of ball. So that was the shot that led me to hit for years. I would just hit 3-wood like 99% of the time.
Interesting.
So probably when I came to see you first, that season I probably hit driver very rarely.
Yeah.
So this is such a big departure because now my swing being a little more structured and hitting a draw for the most part.
Yep.
Aim down the left side with this thing, and I know that worst case, it doesn't draw back, you're on the left edge.
Yep.
If it does draw a bit much, you're on the right edge. So that has been a complete transformation.
For sure, and for the regular viewers, I mean, you guys will have seen that's Matt's shape now. It's a start left, draw to the line.
Yep.
It's a little push draw which is what you've really been working on. So that head has been absolutely fantastic for you. We went through a lot of testing, even when we were reviewing other heads, and the amount of speed that Matt has, most people would go M3, Rogue Sub-Zero, that type of thing. But it was really interesting to go through that process with you because you were really struggling to hit those, keep those ones in the air. You couldn't spin them enough.
No. So I think it's funny that we just did your Y in the bag because your driver is so low lofted.
Yeah.
You've got the weights forward in the M3.
Right.
And I literally can't get the ball in the air.
We have to pull the weights back into the Y track, into the back into the toe and the heel.
And so we hit up on the ball a similar amount on GC Quad.
Right, yeah.
But it's the amount of delivered loft.
Sure.
I guess I'm delivering a lot less than you are. So for me to get a driver like that in the air, it just doesn't happen. So using the 10-degree head, opening up a bit, it's still 9, and it's not the lowest launching, lowest spinning head out there by any means.
No.
But for me, it's just been like a perfect fit.
Yeah, it's a nice balance of everything,
really
isn't it? It has good launch, good spin, great speed. Something we've really seen from the G400 this year. The ball speed has been excellent. The main thing I sort of attribute to that has been the increase in head weight.
Yeah, you've mentioned they're a little heavier.
They're the heaviest head weights on the market right now. So the LS Tech weighs around 204 grams, give or take a gram or so. Taylormade M3s and M4s around 200 pretty consistently. Rogue Callaway can be as low as 182 to 186.
And they're light, aren't they?
Quite light.
Yep.
And actually, really interestingly, for that works as a plus minus, just to go slightly off topic, because people will go, well, what does that mean for me, and kind of how does that influence my own driver? I quite like the Rogue, maybe I want to try it. I would say lighter head weights really benefit people who swing a bit slower.
Okay.
You can swing a bit faster with it, and actually you actually see increases in ball speed. There's a tipping point though, where if you increase your club head speed significantly, lighter head weights become they decrease the amount of ball speed you have.
Interesting.
So
it's like a physics thing, basically.
That's
the mass,
basically
right?
what it is. It's the mass equals the output. So the ball speed tends to be, for better players, a little bit lower on standard Rogues. Now, we have the benefit of our fitter kit, which comes with multiple weights. So we have all the way from 2 grams up to 14 grams. So we can configure the weight in the heads however we want. So we can get a Rogue back up to 200. And that's
the advantage of coming somewhere like this and getting, because no one's going to know that going to a golf shop. There's just no way.
You go into the big box store, to be honest, the guys aren't working with digital scales. Literally every head that I give a customer will be weighed in front of my eyes before I give them it, so I can see how that will correlate with the shaft, and I can start to do the rough math in my head as to what's about to happen.
Yeah, that's interesting.
No guesswork.
No, it's a different world. I mean, really it is. But that's a head that is renowned for the ball speed. But if you didn't give enough head weight for someone, they may actually not get the benefit of that.
Yeah, I think it might have been something that Callaway, looked at the innovation they brought to the table with Jailbreak, thinking that, okay, we have so much ball speed, we saw that in Epic, but we'll decrease the head weight to get people to swing it a little bit quicker, and they do. Generally speaking, we see people swing it quite quick with Rogue because there's a little reduction in weight. We do see lighter clubs move fast, there's no doubt about it. I mean, when I swing, the super speed sticks, the lightest one I swing by far the quickest. So there is a correlation with lighter moving faster, but there is also a correlation with not enough mass in the head doesn't create enough ball speed. So, that's something for you at high speed. More mass is better for you. It increases your ball speed, your smash factor, efficiency, that type of thing.
And I think the balance of this feeling a bit heavier has helped me consistency-wise, finding more fairways. My old driver being cut down was really light in swing weight, and I think that just made everything worse.
Right.
Made my consistency worse.
You had an Aldila Rip Phenom.
Yep, I did.
It was a 70X.
Good memory.
Right, so you were of the opinion, the Aldila Rip shafts, reputable as being very stiff. And then the first thing I said to you when we got together was how soft that profile was.
I did my research at the time, whenever that was, and I thought this is like a super stiff shaft, should be good to go. Right. And then, the first thing you said to me was, it's not really that stiff. And I thought, what? Like,
I know.
So it's, it is what it is. It's most people's knowledge, and I think at the time I considered myself to be probably more knowledgeable than most. Because I was working in the industry and I did, some research, but again, was off. It was totally off base, and I was wrong about shortening the driver. So this thing overall, and we'll talk about the shaft next, but this has been by far the biggest influence.
Game changer for you.
So we've, you knew about TPT previously, but I had the opportunity to be here during the whole fitting experience that we filmed here, which was very cool. So we had 3 contest winners come in and do the fitting experience.
Yeah, we were selected to have the exclusive rights to TPT golf shafts in Canada, which was a huge thing for us, to be trusted with that brand, to grow the brand throughout the country. So that's been fantastic for us, and it's been a really a partnership that we cherish, to be honest. Developing obviously the dealers throughout North America is not an easy thing. When you trust your product with certain people, you want to make sure it's with the right fitters who are going to do the product justice. So when we met with TPT and had that conversation with them, and their interest with us was a real compliment to our business. So our full belief in the product was from day one. Yeah,
and this is a company that won't sell you a shaft unless you've been fit, which is amazing when you think about it. I mean, there's literally times where you've had to tell people no, you have to come in for a fitting.
We get phone calls all the time. I've had people phoning from Scandinavia, from other parts of the US, different stuff. I see you guys are a dealer. Can you cut the shaft, put a tip on it, grip it, and send it? Absolutely not.
You just can't do it.
We can't do it. We won't do it, and it's because it has to be fitted. Obviously, you've got all your 15 through to 19 series. You've got your low kick point, mid kick point. It's an expanding range of shafts. Currently, there's 11. So we got to make sure that we get you into the right one, and you're in a bit of a unique one.
Yeah. So tell us about it. This is the 15 series. So as far as my understanding, as I know, this is the stiffest one.
Right.
And that's about as far as my knowledge goes. So LKP.
There is actually a stiffer one.
Is it available yet?
No.
Though? Yeah.
Tour only.
So the tour only one, they make a 14 series or something like that. That's what Jason Day uses.
Jason Day one. And obviously, we've just seen recently. Patrick Reed's put a TPT in the bag. I saw DeChambeau won with it last week, which is great. So they're really getting some tour traction. A certain Eldrick Tiger Woods was testing it last week.
Was he?
Yeah.
Well, that's news to me.
He was standing with on the range at where were they last weekend? First playoff event.
Yeah, they were in New Jersey.
Yeah. He's standing in the range, and he had a TPT.
Did he?
Yep.
Well, that's some crazy news, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. I knew he had tested it earlier in the season. He had hit it, and certainly, Jason Day had he played with Jason Day, good friends, obviously, and he saw how well Day was hitting it, so it kind of perked up his curiosity. 2 Taylormade guys.
Interesting.
So so yours is 15 series. Lighter weight than the original 15 series. The original 15 series were 71 and 73 grams, respectively. So the 15 series is 65 grams. So it has some coding on the shaft: LKP, low kick point, LT, low torque, and LW, low lightweight. So this was the shaft actually that Justin Rose basically spec'd out. He asked the guys at TPT to build him one of those.
This one.
Make that one for him specifically. So when he was testing it, he really liked the performance, but he wanted them to tweak it, and this was the result of that tweak. So he won, let's say, 3 times at the end of it last year and finished second in the other event at the tail end of last year. I think we've mentioned that before, but he went on a tear with it. Then he obviously came out with the new line of drivers at Taylormade, and he went into some other shafts. So
didn't quite suit him anymore, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, too bad. He was in such a good run. Obviously, it might be in his best interest to stick with.
You never know. Yeah. For me, I think it feels it sounds a bit, I guess, kind kind of, you hear this a lot, but it feels quite stable.
Right.
But it doesn't feel stiff. Like it doesn't feel like you really have to work hard to swing it.
Yeah.
So I think to me, if that's the kind of feel that someone likes, this is a no-brainer. You get kind of that feeling where it has some torque, obviously, but it's not a whippy shaft by any means.
For me, that's the signature of a really well-made shaft. Sometimes when you're using the lower grade materials, you know, in order to stabilize it, you kind of have to lower the torque. And there was a while back in the early 2000s, around the time of shafts that were out at the time, sort of the Graphite Pro Light, the True Temper EI70. This is going back a bit, the UST Pro Force, the Harrison range of shafts. So they had the Harrison Titanium 2.5. Torque was really low, but the materials weren't nearly what they are now. So the grade of graphite that they're using now is significantly higher grade. So you know, you'll always, when you hear shaft companies talking about, you know, high modulus graphite, low resin content, just means there's more of the good stuff in there, more of the stuff that matters. You know, less resin to obviously to sort of bind the layers of graphite. And this is a unique shaft in its manufacturing process. The thin ply technology is a very unique shaft. It's actually machine made rather than hand wrapped, which is the way a lot of shafts are. So the consistency that they believe that they're able to attain from a machine made shaft rather than something that's susceptible to human error is something that they feel is a competitive advantage for them.
Yeah. Well, I'm happy with it. I know you've tested it a bit, and you've.
I've actually got one coming my way, so I'm really excited.
Install it, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna pop it in there and then play a little bit with it. The interesting thing was for me, I hit it at the start of this year, but my swing speed was significantly less at the time. So actually, it felt quite stiff to me.
So it might be better now for you.
I think it's going to be hopefully a little bit better. And I've seen some remarkable results for certain players with that shaft this year. Just people who were struggling with drivers become exceptional drivers of the ball.
You mentioned the consistency of strike for a lot of players gets so much better.
Just the consistency of the shaft returning to its original form, and that's one of the key criteria for a shaft, is its ability to retake its original structure. And that's how you get obviously the consistency of the club face, the maximum energy transfer. You're able to then create timing off of those things. That's the role of the shaft.
All right, let's move on to something that I just took the plastic off.
Yeah, we had a little fun. We just done a little, we recorded the build of this very club.
So Ian just built this entire thing. We recorded it for Patreon, but it is brand new, ready to hit. So the M3, 15 degree 3 wood. Probably gonna move it into the fade setting, because that's what we originally fit me for, again, because I like to play a draw, and it will just kind of keep the ball from overdrawing. Tell us about the shaft.
Yeah, so new shaft this year. So the Graphite Design IZ, played by Jordan Spieth, played by Snedeker, played by Adam Scott. So Spieth and Adam Scott are two guys, obviously, that were playing the Graphite Design DI model, the original orange and white shaft. So this is kind of a bit of an update of that. A little bit more of a tip stiff profile. A little bit stronger, certainly, than the original DI, especially, as I say, in the tip section. So just a little bit more of a stable shaft, and we know that's worked well for you. We've got the 7th. This is originally was 75 grams, prior to cutting it. So we now know the exact gram weights of all of it. So, the head weight was coming in at 219 grams. The shaft, after cutting it from 74.6, it went down to 68.4.
Right.
So we know exactly the weight of your club.
Which is really cool.
Yeah, we built Matt's 3-wood exactly to 7.0 on the rifle scale, which was 270 cycles per minute. That's with the grip off. So obviously the frequency changes whether the grip's on or off because of the soft rubber. So this was one that when we tested it, we'd actually done a live
this is exactly what we fit for on that live with the weight and the fade setting. And I was just hitting it off the demo while you were gluing it earlier. I really like the feel of the shaft. I think it's just a nice looking head. I like that it's adjustable. I like that I can change the hosel if needed, if I need to hit it a little lower one day or higher.
It's
a good feeling club. I'm looking forward to getting this kind of out on the course.
Matt has been using a a 5-wood for the longest time. Sitting a bit open, so you reduce the loft a little bit.
Not a good fit for me either.
No, it was kind of something that you saw. It was a Graphite design MT shaft, which was a very tip soft shaft design. You actually see a lot of LPGA players playing it.
As you like to remind me.
How's your lady shafted over there?
It's good.
Even though it was in a 7X.
I know.
But
I would just overcook that pretty much every time.
Yeah, just very high, soft, too much curvature. Yeah. This is going to be something that you're on those tight driving holes, you're going to be able to just roast this thing out there.
I have not had a really good 3-wood probably since I was a teenager that I really liked.
This is going to be fun for you. I actually really think you're going to love this thing.
Well, I got around tomorrow and around Sunday, so I'll be able to give everybody some feedback pretty quickly.
Yep.
I'm really looking forward to that. Now, this might be my second favorite club.
Right.
Something that was not at all on my radar until I opened the drawer and I said, Ian, why don't we test this guy today? And we did a review.
Yeah.
And I literally fell in love with this Callaway X-Forged UT. This is new for this year because they had a model that looked kind of similar, but this is new. We've got it at 19 degrees.
Well, we strengthened it a little bit, didn't we? We done a gapping session with Matt on Monday for the channel, and one of the things we found was that we needed to strengthen it a little bit in order to get it to fly around 240.
240, and it also took a little bit of spin off because it's, for me, being, once I get to my irons, hitting into the wind, I think that's my weakness if I need to get a ball in the fairway, let's say 230, 240. So it was nice to flatten the flight out, and I was hitting it so high anyway, I don't think there'll be any issue, hitting it into a par 5, for example.
For sure.
But
land plenty soft enough.
I've played with it now, I guess, 2 weeks, and just the confidence I have now to go for a green that's 240, 250. Before I just was really uncomfortable with what I had in the bag, and I would almost kind of pretty unlikely to actually land it on the green and have a chance at eagle. Right. This has made a massive difference. And I think the head feels really hot and fast off the face, which people I think will like. It looks nice. But the shaft choice, which again, if you guys haven't seen that video, check it out because it was amazing the difference that this shaft made versus two other options on the wall that I think were really good and probably would have been, again, what I would have fit myself to off the rack thinking they'd be good. The Tennessee White in 105 grams.
Right.
And the Graphite Design was about 105 too.
Yeah. And I think we tried the other one we tried of the 4 was the Atlas Blue.
Right, which again wasn't bad either. It
was okay.
I don't think any of them were bad fits, but as soon as you popped in this is the Accra TourZ Hybrid M5. I started hitting the middle of the face so much better, and I think the shape of the ball flight was just better, and I felt like I was hitting it like half a club longer right away. So it's a bit of a lighter shaft than those. This is about 7 grams, something like that?
A little heavier than that in the M5.
Oh, it's heavier,
up into the 90s in the M5.
Right.
So one of the ways in which the manufacturers make shafts a little bit stiffer is obviously just to add material and thicken the wall thickness of it. So, but one of the cool things we're seeing already is how much of a truly agnostic bag you have now. So you've got three clubs, you've got a Taylormade, you've got a Callaway club, and purely performance related. And guys, there's something really in that. I know. Try not to kind of follow your favorite brands too much. Obviously, it's nice to have brand loyalty, but unless they're paying you, a pretty nice retainer, play what's best for you. And this was a true test to that.
We got 3 different club manufacturers, 3 different shaft manufacturers. Important to say we didn't just match the shafts because it's not always the way it goes, right?
Definitely not.
Now the Accra shaft was pretty good in the 3-wood, but we just found this was a little bit better for me, and the same with the driver. So far and it's going to continue. There's not a whole lot of brand matching going on here. So the irons that are very new to me, they're reaching the end of their life cycle, but I've just put them in the bag. 765s.
Yeah, classics. They're going to go down as a bit of a classic iron range. From a player's iron standpoint this year, they're the best-selling iron in our store. Yep. No question. It's actually not even close. So just the value you get out of the Srixon clubs, the feel, the performance. There's so many sort of technical, subtle things in there, such as the way the weight pad is more in the toe section. You've got your little tungsten plug in the toe, designed to obviously spread the mass and increase the MOI, increase the forgiveness. increase the ball speed on the miss hit. It's such a good iron.
Yeah, I think it's completely changed my ball flight with my irons. Much flatter flight now. I'm not having so much
stable flight.
I played actually played yesterday, and there was about 180-yard par 3 into the wind.
Yeah.
And normally, honestly, my old set I would consider hitting a 5-iron, and I actually was able to take the 7, hit it a bit lower with the draw, and it was pin high.
Wow.
So like that's the first time I thought I can maybe play in the wind. Whereas before, honestly, before it put me in on a windy day, and you might as well add 20 strokes to my score.
You had such a rising flight.
Yeah.
Quite high launch, but lots of spin.
Lots of spin.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's completely changed that. And I think out of the rough, I mean, I haven't played with them for more than a month, but I'm noticing they're quite nice through the rough with the sole design. And I think the shafts have made a big difference. Right. So these Modus 120TX, again, something that was not on my radar at all. And as you had explained to me, a little lighter than the 130, obviously, but the TX being kind of a unique offering within the range, that it is the stiffest one they offer, but not the heaviest.
Correct, exactly it. So it's the most tip stiff of the range.
Right.
So quite stable in the butt section, a little softer in the mid, and very tip stiff in the Modus 120. So Matt and I discussed it. During the fit, you done quite well with X7
at the time, yeah.
And at the time, though, Matt was pre kind of swing changes, and I think you actually made a super call on it in going with the slightly lighter one, because the nature of your swing now, you're much shorter, much wider, which means you actually don't need as much mass in order to create the timing. I think that was the thing with the X7. Your swing was so long before, having the heavier clubs was helping you create the timing. I think you have a better, technically more fundamentally sound golf swing now.
Agreed.
That this is actually a much better shaft for you.
Yeah, and talking about how this is a stiffer profile, it doesn't feel overly stiff, and I think that's because, as you mentioned, the butt section isn't crazy stiff. The X7 being even wider in the grip area and so stiff.
Quite a large butt section.
When we went to once I was working on my swing, and I was obviously using those when we would test and do stuff like that. I started to feel the fact that just wasn't going to work for me anymore. So the Modus, I know they're one of your favorites overall, and I can see why. Like, it's just a really good performing shaft.
Yeah, I mean, Nippon is a company. They're just their stuff is renowned as, to be honest, having the tightest steel shaft tolerances in the marketplace.
Right.
Their stuff is phenomenal. It is a taper set. But even when you go to frequency match them, they're perfect. When you weight sort them, they're fantastic.
And that saves you so much time and hassle in the build, and you're giving your customer a much better final product, obviously.
That's right. Yeah, it's just a superior overall build. With when your components are tied to tolerances, we can build better sets.
Gotcha. So happy with those for sure.
Yep, you're hitting those well. And those are 4 to pitch and wedge.
4 to pitching wedge, yep. We've got them 2 degrees flat, so kind of like we were talking about with your bag. I think it's helping me actually, sort of forcing me to get my hands a little bit lower.
Right.
But I'm definitely not pulling and overdrawing them as much as I used to with my old irons. So the lie angles have been I think that's the biggest change, maybe specs wise. My old irons were 2 degrees up before I changed my swing, which is kind of insane when you think about how much difference that actually is.
I know.
So that's been an adjustment, but a positive one. So, and going into the wedges, a little bit flatter on those two, which has been good. Not quite as flat. We've recently made that change.
Yeah, we found in our gapping session together that the wedges weren't coming back a little bit. They were staying down the left side. So we nudged the lie angles back up a little bit, and the difference in accuracy and
totally different.
Your ability to hit it online was much improved.
And I think that's, again, probably going to be a bit of a work in progress with my swing, but the beauty of it is it takes you 30 seconds and you can put them back to flat at any time.
Made that little adjustment and that sort of thing, and really, the numbers are just for us to use as reference points. Really, whatever they are, it's just based on how far we need it to go, and obviously, making the ball as stable a ball flight as possible, and that's matching up the face angle to the path. Perfect.
I know. So that's been a really good change. So I've had kind of a mixed bag of older Vokeys previously.
Yeah.
We did a nice wedge fit at Magna Outdoors, which was really interesting. So we talked about different grinds. So the 50 degree, I've got the F grind, SM7, which is kind of your full sole.
Full sole.
That's a full swing club for me. I don't hit that around the green or anything like that. We matched the iron shaft to the iron set with the
did.
120 TX,
120 TX
which was interesting to me that you recommended that, and it makes a lot of sense. I think I'm going at that similar to my pitching wedge anyway, so that made a lot of sense. And then 54 and 58, I've got 130Xs, so heavier but softer. Is that how you describe it?
Yep, that's exactly it. So something just to kind of keep the mass up there. You know, because when you're gripping up and down those short clubs, hitting partial shots, you want to make sure you've got enough sort of mass to still be able to time it well, and being a little bit softer, especially in the tip section. It's quite butt stiff. The Modus 130, but it's much more much softer in the tip section.
My partial shots and even chipping, it's funny that the shaft change in my 58, I think my chipping and bunker play has become a lot better for whatever reason. Like the standard, I guess the Wedge Flex S200. I've noticed a big difference in just the quality of my short shots.
Very cool.
So for whatever reason, that's more suitable. S grind in this.
Really popular in the sand wedge.
Gives you a little bit of extra versatility.
Yeah, a little trail edge grind on the S, so 5410.
Yep.
You know, really popular grind for a lot of people. 54 is one of those clubs we don't tend to get into opening them too much.
No.
You might play the odd long bunker shot, which is where that trail edge relief,
and that's why I wanted that.
You know, plays a part, so you get some slightly better turf interaction. You're not going to get that kind of bounce off the harder compact sand. So it will actually, you know, get the right kind of strike depth in the bunker shot. So really like that one. Yeah,
and the M grind is what you recommended with the 58. That's what I chip and pitch with 90% of the time. And if I play my open face shots, so that's been really good. 8 degrees of bounce. We went with a little bit more bounce in all of them than I used to have, and I find that I've just been striking it quite a bit better.
And you've been working in some great new sort of things with your pitching as well that helped you sort of get a little bit wider, using the bounce a little bit more in the wedges.
Being more shallow in my delivery. So getting a little bit more spin around the greens. I think my distance control has improved. And just not mishitting, you know, I'm not getting those kind of disaster shots where you really chunk one or thin one over the green. So that has made a really big difference. I don't have anything too exciting to talk about with the putter the way that you did, but I want to get a stability shaft for sure. And I think everyone will have seen the putting fitting that we did with the micro hinge Odyssey. So I'm kind of, they had a head design that I liked, but it only came in plumber's neck. So I'm kind of holding out and hoping that they'll come out with something that is you know, a little more suitable to what I want with that technology.
We're going to dig a little deeper, aren't we, into putter and getting into something that really we think will be good. I mean, you've got a bit of a unique sort of unique grip on it, which we'll talk about in a second.
We can talk about the grip for sure. Now, you did make a little bit of lie and loft adjustment in that session, which I think has helped. But long story short, I haven't put the time and effort into my putting that I have with the rest of the game. So as I get, and I will, get more serious about practicing with this, we'll definitely revisit you know, what's a little more suitable for me to kind of lower my score. The putting has been a bit of a weakness, but I've got my original, this is a Ping milled Anser. This thing is pretty old as well.
Yeah, it's a few years old, that one.
Yeah.
So, you know, obviously putts are like that with that style of neck. So, you know, if we can hang it and show you guys the toe hang. So that'd be designed for a putter or a player who has quite an aggressive arc to their stroke.
Which I tend to.
So this will help with reducing, you know, the amount of rotation that a strong arc will obviously encourage. So, you know, that times up well. So, you know, I always tell people the goal when it comes to creating the right putter or picking the right putter is to match the face angle and loft to the player's delivery. So getting, you know, the right blend of loft and face angle at impact.
Gotcha. Yeah. Part of what I have to work on is getting a little bit more forward shaft lean, a little bit more up on it.
Creating that lift and rotate kind of idea with the golf ball.
And we found that when I did that, the putter performed pretty well. It was a decent fit. I definitely want to get a new putter, mostly just because I want a new putter, but I want to put the time into it to really get I guess the benefit of getting something new.
And that guy's quite, you know, we found it was quite light, and you know, it was, we wouldn't mind kind of getting a little bit more weight and mass in there as well. Agreed. Just to kind of help your overall feel of the stroke to make it a bit more consistent.
Yeah, so that'll be coming. So the grip is definitely a unique one. Something that you've started carrying in the shop, which is nice. A forward golf grip. So for those that aren't familiar with it, it's basically placing more of the material on the top end of the shaft.
Yep. So yeah, rather than having a standard shape,
is more back here, right?
Yeah, and it forces your hands into a more sort of biomechanically sound position.
Yeah, see if I can just catch this on camera, but hoping to get your hands a little bit more in line with the shaft.
With the forearms, that's exactly. So one of the key fundamentals of putters, obviously, we all remember the putters of old. Seve was one who used to have the hands super low. Well, when you have the hands super low like that, the rate of rotation of the putter is extreme. So one of the things, sort of putters that we see nowadays that are renowned as the best putters, Stricker being one, Aaron Badley having one of the most technically sound putting strokes out there, is we noticed that the wrist was in a slightly different position. So the wrist wasn't sort of down and with as much kind of wrist cock, not so much the back of the wrist hinge, the wrist cock. So it was actually in a slightly more sort of handle up position, and which would bring the shaft and forearms in line, which would reduce the rotation of the putter, which would allow you to be able to time the face a little bit better. Coming back to that kind of idea that we're trying to kind of time face and loft simultaneously. This putter will actually physically put your hands in that position.
It's kind of a shortcut in that sense.
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
the material is up here, it just forces you to grip it in the palm more right away. So if anyone's working on that, I think it's just an easy way to sort of say, okay, let me automatically do that and get the stroke a little bit more consistent. So it's been good for me. It does come in a bigger size. I'm just not a jumbo grip kind of guy. But comes in a bigger size.
That's like kind of mid-size.
This is the mid-size. The jumbo is a little bit more extreme in design, but yeah, definitely one to look out for if you're trying to change your stroke that way.
Yeah, and that'll probably make its way over to the new putter setup, because you're very comfortable with the hand position that you've created. That's one constant that you enjoy.
Yeah, I don't think it would be something I'd change. I think it's just such a good reminder, and I tend to get my hands too low when I'm not putting well. So just kind of having that reminder.
I think that's something that a lot of people do. I see, that toe sitting, up. The toe sitting up and the putter sitting outside of the eye line, and I kind of go, geez, we're in for a bit of trouble here. So sometimes, trying to get the player to raise the handle, bringing the putter head back in so that the ball's in line with the eye line, which gets a nice neutral arc rather than being outside and the putter being on a super aggressive arc. One of the beauties of working with Quintic ball roll is that we have some real kind of good delivery parameters that we know work the best for players. We know what the best players in the world do. We know how much they rotate it, how much they lean the shaft forward, how much their angle of attack works upwards, all those sorts of things. So the tolerances, the face works within impact. All those sorts of things allow a player to be super consistent from a putting standpoint, and that grip's helped you a bunch with that.
It 100% has. Yeah. Hopefully do some testing on it with a bunch of different putter grips in the near future. We've had some requests, but that's one to have on the radar. I know you guys have Garson and a couple others, but
we do a little bit of super stroke, Garson, forward. We do obviously a lot of OEM grips or sort of Win or Super Stroke nowadays. Both of those two are very popular. So
another way to add a little technology, right? I mean, you've got some technology with your putter shaft now. We got some putter grip technology. So there's 100%. Stuff people can be doing to kind of tweak that putter beyond liking the look of a putter.
So those little tweaks and those little small percentages that can make a difference.
Awesome. All right, well, this was good.
Yeah, last but not least, your golf ball.
Oh yeah, the golf ball. We play the same golf ball.
We play the same golf ball.
Yep. The XV Srixon Z-Star.
Again, another thing you think that has helped your ball spin a little bit less and better in the wind.
Absolutely.
The two key factors 100%. For you with that. You were talking about being able to maintain your yardages now into the wind on windy days.
I know.
That's one of the things I think with the Srixon ball that's really not talked about quite enough is it's what they call the aerodynamics package on the golf ball, making sure it's better through the wind.
Yeah, I can count on one hand the number of times in the last year that I've thought, oh, I needed more spin on that shot. It's never. I mean, honestly, it isn't an issue, and that ball spins plenty for me.
You spin the golf ball with the wedges as high as anyone I've really worked with. With your wedges consistently around that 11,500 mark, and I know if you're anyway either side of that, I know you've not really get the right ball, really focus on those numbers for you when it comes to the wedges. So and it matches up nicely with the driver and the irons as well.
No, it's been a really good ball. Are they? What's their product cycle? They have a new ball coming out next year.
They'll have a new ball coming out next year.
Yeah.
Most companies kind of have a new ball every year. So hopefully, not changing too much, but subtle improvements, a bit like the irons,
Yeah, exactly.
Not really changed too much, but just incrementally edged closer to being a better product, which is what we want.
I can update the ball, but I'm going to play the irons for at least a season.
No reason not to.
We've tested the new ones, and they are really, really good.
Right.
But in terms of actual results, I think we saw that I probably get about the same results. Do you think the new ones look a little bit better?
Yeah, you like the profile of them,
They look great, yeah. But then again, honestly, these are so nice that I won't be disappointed to play those.
Split hairs, isn't it, really?
Yeah, absolutely.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Good stuff.
Sometimes I think it's, for us, it's being spoiled for choice. You probably, it probably wouldn't even turn your head, to be honest, if you weren't in the environment of seeing the new stuff so often.
Well, I played the same irons for 9 years and never really bugged me. And then I started coming in here, and now
you're introduced to us, and all hell broke loose.
But we'll definitely be happy with this. I mean, it's been a massive change. Obviously working on my swing, but getting the equipment kind of dialed into this way to a degree that I've never been even close to having equipment this well fits. So I'm looking forward to finishing off the year well, and then obviously get a full season with new stuff next year would be nice.
And be settled with it for next year. That's the thing. You'll be
comfortable.
You'll be going into next year, not be looking to making changes and trying to adjust to what the new changes do, and figuring out the sort of the ball flight patterns and the wind and that sort of thing. So
very true.
You're going to be very, very accustomed to what your golf ball does, which is great.
Yeah, looking forward to that for sure.
Good, excellent. So that's what we're currently playing. Like we said, we're always testing stuff, and you guys will be the first to see that on the channel. We'll always be telling you what we're testing.
For sure.
And this time of year we're getting some new stuff. I'm heading to the Titleist Centre very soon to test the new TS range of drivers.
Looking forward to that.
Looking forward to seeing that, and I've seen everyone with their cards of how many
I know.
how many miles an hour ball speed they've gained and how many yards that's translated into. So they've got their work cut out.
I was going to say, I think your driver's probably pretty well fit compared to the other testers, but we'll see.
We'll see. I mean, if they can sneak a little bit extra speed out of it.
Little Titleist driver.
We'll never
Do
know.
they make a 6.5 though? The way you got it?
They can go down to they can go down to 8.5, turn down to 7.75, maybe digitally loft ahead that starts a bit lower. So maybe. We'll wait and see.
We don't know much about that driver yet at all, do we? So it'll be interesting to see how it launches.
I've kind of just from what I've heard from guys who have tested it, one of my old bosses at Taylormade is actually director of marketing for Titleist in Europe.
Oh, yes, okay.
Matt. So it's good, good to see those guys over in the States testing it recently. Still keep in touch with all those guys from home, so they're all raving about it.
Really?
The guys were actually down and doing their testing, and I just saw their social media sort of stuff, and I was texting, how is it? And, they're all like, just wait, just wait. Actually, one of them commented, so I was obviously in the Super Speed Challenge. It was the road to 170, trying to get 170 ball speed, and he texts me, he's going 170, he's going, it's just got a whole lot closer.
Really?
Yeah, he was that confident that driver would be quicker. So, that's pretty bold, bold statements. Titleist haven't maybe been, the sort of, I don't know, the fastest or most advanced, driver from a technological standpoint, but they say speed was the main goal with this new range. They went all out for speed.
That's new for them. Yeah.
So
that's coming soon.
It's coming soon. We'll have that on the channel. Those will be reviewed as soon as we can. We may, even if we get the opportunity to review at the Titleist Centre, just another kind of aspect to talk to the guys, who are working the product, firsthand. It's always good to do.
Absolutely. That'll be great.
We like to do that as well. So
awesome.
Good, excellent, guys. Hope you enjoyed this. Leave your questions for Matt, and if you've had any similar sort of experiences that Matt has, and you want to ask some questions of how that can translate into better performance, and this can help you, feel free to do that. We'll obviously get back to
the one question that I'll answer in 2 seconds is, I don't have Miuras because they stopped making them in left-hand.
That's a great point.
I've answered a lot of comments about it, and we kind of forgot to mention it, but right after that fitting, they stopped making them, and then obviously these perform almost the same, so it wasn't a hard decision, but that's the reason I don't have those, is because they stopped making them.
And we just need to hope that people get to the end of the video so that
well, if you do happen to comment it, I won't be too bothered to answer you and let you know why.
I know, exactly. Good, excellent. All right, guys, appreciate you watching. Leave your comments below, and we'll see you again soon.